So the Bengals did the correct thing in giving Joe Burrow a rest day. Wow. It is truly May. You know it's truly May when this is the storyline. Joe Burrow didn't practice today in OTAs. What's the story? Well, he got a rest day because he's a star quarterback and, you know, that's just how life goes. Like, we've got to forget this. Joe is human too, you know, and at the end of the day, you can't practice every single day. Now, according to Zach Taylor, if he could, he would, and that's kind of the problem. So here's what Zach said about the whole situation. He said if you ask him, he's going to be out there here every day. Taylor said, and that's part of the problem: defending a player from himself. And to a certain degree, it's like, I do understand where Coach is coming from here. Because it's like, at the end of the day, especially with Joe rehabbing, getting better. But based on what I've heard, and we've heard from different surgeons, it's really not like his rehab process here. There's no real setbacks from him being out there throwing the football, right? Him throwing the football, there's going to be no setbacks. The setbacks might happen when he takes his first contact in a game. And that's the scary thing about this whole process. Isn't really the fact of, oh, well, Joe, is having to, he's going out there every day and throwing the ball 6,000 times. It's really a scary factor of, okay, Joe Burrow could potentially, once he takes his first contact, which won't be until the regular season because, Zach doesn't play, any starters in the preseason. We won't see the first contact until the regular season. That's going to be the real scary part. So him going out there right now and practicing every day and throwing the ball 6,000 times, I don't really think it's like, it doesn't scare me at all to see how this ends up working out. Because this is just kind of, Joe Burrow being Joe Burrow. And I think he should be fine. Again, according to the doctors and the surgeons, there should be no problem with him throwing the football. The problem's going to be when he takes the first contact and a 300-pound man falls on him. Because the way this injury happened is exactly that. This is why it happens normally to linemen and defensive linemen, and it does not happen to quarterbacks ever. The first quarterback who's ever had this injury, and the reason why is because of the fact that, the guy fell on Joe Burrow. If the guy didn't fall on Joe Burrow, this would have never happened in the end. But again, like I said, that's obviously, we'll see how this turns out. But him throwing the football, again, shouldn't cause any problems. Now, if Zach is talking about other potential injuries, like, I don't know, a guy tears something or a guy gets hurt, and obviously Joe does not have the best, track record of practicing in OTAs in training camp, obviously getting hurt. That's just a part of football, though. Like, at that part, if you can't have a guy go out there in OTAs in training camp and risk him getting hurt, then put bubble wrap on him and, then he can't be your quarterback. But Joe, yes, he's had some unfortunate situations. One of them being he needed to get a surgery, which is unrelated to football. Obviously, calf strain last year. It is what it is, right? That's just a part of, kind of football with injuries. It's not a situation where it's like, oh, if Joe goes out there, he's going to automatically not be able to practice. And obviously, his rookie year, he had a, he tore his ACL. So, I don't look too far into it. That's what I'm trying to say. He does go ahead and say, when he knows I'm saying something, he knows I mean it, Taylor said. Sometimes he knows when it's up to discussing and sometimes discussion, and sometimes when it's not. I think he knows we're doing the right thing. And here's what I'll say about the situation, right? This is why, and I fully, heartedly say this, you got to respect Coach Taylor immensely. Because Coach Taylor says when things happen or when they don't happen to a $55 million quarterback. And at the end of the day, that's saying a lot. Because normally, coaches, they don't do that. Well, a lot of coaches. There are some coaches from history, Bill Parcells, Bill Belichick, obviously Zach Taylor, and some other coaches. I don't want to just put them like in an exclusive club of like 5 coaches, but there's not as many coaches that would do that. They're kind of like, hey, listen, like we're paying him $55 million. He is the guy. I'm just pretty much sitting here, and whatever he wants to do, he does. But Coach does not play like that. Coach treats Joe just the same as any other player on the roster. Which, again, you got to commend him a lot for that, because take some balls. I mean, you paying quarterback making $55 million. But it's also a respect thing, right? Joe respects Coach Taylor enough to say, hey, listen, whatever you say, man, I'm going with. Because I know you know best. So, again, like I said, just more reasons why I love Coach Taylor, because a lot of coaches would be just kind of content with saying, all right, whatever the quarterback wants, he's making on the money, I trust whatever he does. Instead, he's like, hey, listen, I'm the coach, I'm going to tell you what I think is best, and this is how the philosophy goes. And what that does is, and I'm kind of homing back on this, it teaches a culture. It gives the respect. If the quarterback who's making $55 million respects coach and listens to coach and does what coach says, well, what do you think the guy who's making $5 million, and it's not really a money thing, but it's value thing. What about the guy who is a backup running back for the team? Do you think he's going to respect coach? Do you think he's going to listen to coach? Absolutely. Do you think the star receiver is going to listen to coach? Yes, he is. Because if my quarterback's listening to him, and my quarterback my coach has the respect of my quarterback, then it's like you just follow the leader there, right? Now, if it's the opposite and the quarterback doesn't have respect to coach, and it's like a Baker Mayfield, Freddie Kitchen type situation, where Freddie Kitchen was just disrespected by Baker, then there's going to be a situation where, it's the opposite. You're going to have players on that team saying, hey, why should I respect coach, or why should I care what coach is doing, when in reality, at the end of the day, my quarterback doesn't respect him. My quarterback doesn't see him as someone who should be respected, right? So it's a culture thing. And that's why I've said many times when it comes to the Bengals, and why I love the Bengals so much, is we have the best culture in the NFL. I don't care what anyone says. We have the best culture. And the culture is built from Duke Tobin, from Zach Taylor, from all of us. And it's just this, infectious type mentality, right? So that's why, again, like I said, I know, listen, if I can brag about our team, I'm going to brag about our team. Because the media does such a crappy job of absolutely crapping all over us and treating us like we're nothing. So I'm going to brag as much as I want about our team. But with that being said, though, Joe Burrow is not out there. He's getting a rest day. It is what it is. Coach thinks it's best, and I trust the process. And I don't think, also, little side note here, because apparently the media does not understand this concept either. If Joe didn't play OTAs, right, he is, obviously. But if he didn't, it wouldn't be for his own perspective, his own development, wouldn't be that big of a deal. Now, he is coming back from injury, so you do want him to play some, right? And also, he needs to get a rapport with Jermaine Burton. He already has a rapport with Yoshi. But with Mike Gesicki and Zach Moss. But for the most part, he could not play OTAs and be absolutely fine for the season. So, I know the media likes to say, oh, well, if this guy doesn't play, this guy doesn't do this, then he can't, then the Bengals are going to be awful. No. No. I'm sorry. Hate to tell you that, media, but that's just not how it works. Also, I do want to say, before I end up this video, RIP to Larry Allen, who passed away yesterday at the age of 52. Very sad for him, and prayers to him and his family, because that's a very devastating loss, and especially that early. I mean, 52 years old, that's not old at all. That's very young. For especially nowadays with people living up to 80, 90s. 52 years old, man. I can't I can't even begin to imagine what his family's going through. So I want to go ahead and say, again, from this channel and everyone watching, prayers out to his family, man, because I can't imagine that. But I'll see you guys next one. Peace.